This question comes from Alex, who asks, what if plants grew 10 times faster?
At first, it sounds like a dream scenario, gardens and forests that flourish overnight. But if you think about it, the consequences for our planet would be far from simple.
Let's start with the obvious. Agriculture would change dramatically. Crops like wheat, rice, and corn could be harvested in weeks instead of months.
Food shortages would become almost non-existent, and famine could be eradicated. Farmers could grow multiple cycles of crops in a single year, drastically increasing food supply.
But faster growth isn't automatically a good thing. Plants require nutrients, water, and sunlight to grow. If they grew 10 times faster, they would also consume these resources at 10 times the rate. Soils would deplete quickly, and irrigation systems might fail to keep up. Fertilizers could run out, creating new environmental challenges. Forests and natural ecosystems would change too. Trees could reach full height in a decade instead of a century. This might sound exciting, but ecosystems are delicately balanced.
Faster-growing plants could outcompete slower ones, reducing biodiversity. Some species might not survive the sudden shift, leading to cascading extinctions.
Think about invasive species. Plants that grow faster could spread uncontrollably, overtaking native habitats.
Rivers, lakes, and wetlands might be overrun with rapidly multiplying vegetation. Managing these ecosystems could become almost impossible without human intervention.
On the other hand, faster plant growth could have unexpected benefits for the climate. More greenery means more carbon dioxide absorbed from the atmosphere.
If forests expanded rapidly, it could help mitigate global warming, at least temporarily. But again, the speed of growth could destabilize ecosystems and soil composition.
Urban areas would face unique challenges. Parks, gardens, and even weeds in cities would grow out of control. Sidewalks and roads could be overrun by plants in just a few days. Urban planning and landscaping would require constant maintenance to keep up with the growth.
Faster-growing plants would also affect food chains and animal populations. Herbivores might struggle to keep up with the sudden abundance of food, or they could overconsume the rapidly growing plants.
Predators would face changes as herbivore populations fluctuate wildly. Entire ecosystems could swing between boom and collapse in a matter of months instead of years. Agriculture technology would have to evolve as well. Harvesting equipment would need to operate almost continuously to prevent crops from becoming unmanageable. Supply chains for food processing, storage, and distribution would be under constant pressure. Without advanced planning, we might see massive crop losses, despite the abundance of growth.
Another interesting effect would be on plant-based medicines and materials. Faster growth could produce more raw materials for pharmaceuticals, paper, wood, and fibers.
But chemical composition might change if plants are forced to grow too quickly, potentially reducing quality or effectiveness. And there's the question of stability. Rapid growth could make plants more fragile, with weaker stems and roots. Storms, wind, and floods could wipe out entire regions of vegetation that would have otherwise survived slower growth. The natural resilience of ecosystems would be compromised.
In short, while a world where plants grow 10 times faster seems like a paradise for gardeners and farmers, it would create a series of complex ecological, agricultural, and urban challenges.
Rapid growth would strain water, soil, and nutrient resources, disrupt ecosystems, and force humans to rethink how we manage the natural world. So the next time you imagine a forest growing overnight or a garden that fills your backyard in days, remember, faster isn't always better. Nature has its own timing, and changing it dramatically would have consequences far beyond what we can immediately see.